are, it's very basic. They're just self-raising flour often, because we use a lot of self-raising flour, a lot of butter, eggs and milk. No buttermilk. I was saying that to Chef Molly, no buttermilk or anything like that, even though we're big fans of buttermilk. And then we looked up that English scones can be sometimes no eggs, around the same amount of butter, and then sometimes just, did you say buttermilk? No, yeah, buttermilk. And then I've seen recipes using just cream also. So they become more kind of biscuity and drier. And we know, because we've been actually separately doing a lot of scone recipes at my house, and we've come up with all these different results. But I just found that kind of bizarre that you don't put an egg in a scone.
Well, you forgot the secret ingredient, right? The Irish.
What's that one? It's a
secret. The crack.
Oh, the crack. Yeah, the fun. It's funny.
Explain it.
Yeah. The British ones, the one thing about them is that they're a little bit drier, and I was saying this to Chef Molly, that not in a bad way, it's just that you're supposed to have them with butter, jam, and then possibly cream, if you feel like you've deserved it that day. And you know those days. And so, and then you have a cup of tea. So with all of that together, it's like, it all makes sense. But to pick up an Irish scone and to have it with like nothing on it and just bite into it like you would a cupcake, it's like that's not it's a whole event. And you have to have the tea and you have to have all the stuff, and that's what makes it so nice. So it's funny because like we tested them in my house, and the booze in this section in the towards the weekend. Rum and raisin semi-Fredo. Rum raisin is one of my favorite combos. Death by chocolate cake. And just kind of, fancy. There's another pavlova, and then it goes into the weekend where you kind of focus on breakfast and pancakes and waffles. When you kind of take that time to make yourself something nice for breakfast, and then I kind of end it with look at this. It's not there's more pictures of George in there, but there's George, but he was less than 2. Yeah, and he's cute. God.
So what do you do when you actually do, people come and say, I want to have
flakiness comes from, right?
Yeah, and I'm a devil, I'll tell you this, I'm guilty of this. I always add in, I don't add in too much liquid, but I always add in the liquid to bring the dough together. I don't want it to be difficult to work with. My culinary assistant will make them on the shorter side. By shorter, I mean almost more like it's drier, which is like a lot of butter and less flour, and she'll hold back the liquid. And so it makes it difficult to work with.
Yeah.
But it makes amazing biscuits and scones, because you have a little bit less liquid, and they're even flakier and crumblier, and they're lovely. So I just find them difficult to handle. And when you're on camera and you're trying to do that,
Every single time I embark on using anything with you.
also in America, so everyone is always like, what is this? So it's just a really nice treat. Wherever, I think it's kind of like Australian, I know there's a big debate about where pavlova comes from, but I think in like Australia this is more common. But to add in a little bit of vinegar. Now for those of you, and I like to do this, I'm not concerned, but anybody who's concerned about egg whites, even though these get cooked, the vinegar can kill any bad bacteria. It also stabilizes the egg whites. And I'm going to put a little bit of cornstarch in there also, and it thickens and stabilizes. And when you're doing something like what we're going to do, which is shaping them, your egg whites to that soft peak stage, then adding in your sugar, it is whipping it up a little bit at the end after all the sugar's gone in, and then it's the corn flour and the vinegar. Thank you. And I will tell you, I've done this for years. You don't always, and then just. And these are not uniformed. They're they are what they are. And you have this lovely.
I'll take my scoops and go.
That's French macaroon.
It's like a French macaron. Is it?
That's different. That's meringue base, but they have almond flour, and then you would pipe those. And to make that a macaroon. I get that sometimes too. He's really great. He really is, and he loves a job. So every day it's like, what's my job?
Oh.
You know what I